Hi my love, welcome back. So lovely to have you with me. I wanted to dive into a little topic around how easy it is to get caught up on perfectionism. And I feel especially in today's world when we are surrounded by filters and airbrushing and all sorts of ways that people get to alter or enhance certain features in their body that can just distort reality. And coming back to this idea that you are born totally whole, totally perfect, and beautifully unique in your own way. And you know, we are all born, if you think of yourself as like your 4-year-old self, just how blissful you were. You know, when you're 4, your imagination is open, you're exploring, you're present, you're curious. You don't have this sense of really being self-aware or self-critical. Definitely not of the way you look, definitely not on what you create. You know, when you're creating and you're scribbling with your colored pencils and you create this picture, you're so proud of it. You're so proud of yourself when you've done something and you want to show your mom or your dad or whoever looks after you. And it's like this innate sense of celebration after everything you do. It's like, wow, look what I did, and you just want to share it. That is the true essence of who you are. A lot of this journey is actually coming back to that place of letting go of perfection, celebrating everything and anything, and really learning to not allow this idea of perfectionism or high standards to actually stop you doing what you know you really want to do. Not allowing the fear to come in, not allowing any ideas of not being good enough or it not being up to your usual standards. You know, really when we think about this idea of being a perfectionist, it's really draining of energy because you're being critical of yourself the whole time. It's like you go to take that step forward and then you knock yourself down. It's another way of self-sabotaging. You know you want to create something, but then you allow doubts to come in. You know, do I know enough? Am I worthy? Can I actually do this? Is it good enough? Am I good enough? And all of that crazy whirlwind can go around in your head. If you know that typically with your character you would relate to this idea of perfectionism or to just having super high standards, and you're at a point in your life where you really want to go for something, but you're really questioning yourself, I always encourage you just to come back to this childlike, innocent state where you just allow yourself to play. It's like putting on all of these masks or being really hard on yourself all the time is tiring, is really tiring. And it's like, would you speak to your best friend in that way? Like if your best friend came to you and said, look, I really want to do this, or I'm wanting to create this, and whatever your internal voice is, imagine that a friend is saying that to you. And then what would your advice be to your person you love or to your very best friend? Notice how much easier it can be to be really kind and really supportive to someone we love outside of ourselves than it can to actually be that for ourselves. And this is such, you know, a really key point to bring up, because when we notice that we're being very critical within ourselves, or we're holding ourselves back with this idea of perfectionism or needing to hit this perfect point straight away, we really are hurting ourselves. We're not building this relationship within ourselves of love, of trust, of respect, of honor, of really nurturing ourselves. And the expectations for something to be perfect straight away is unobtainable. It's like, think about anything that you first did. Maybe it's what you do, you know, now. And think back to when you first started doing it. Are you as competent? Are you as comfortable? Are you as relaxed doing it back then as you are now? Probably not, because that's part of our beautiful journey, is we get to learn as we are on the job, so to speak. That's how we learn. It's like we just need to take the first step, to take that first step and to let go of this idea of it needing to look a certain way or it needing to have a specific outcome. Now that's really important, because when we set such high expectations on ourselves, a lot of the time we're attached to a specific outcome. And when we don't get that outcome, we can tear ourselves down even more. So remove this attachment to the outcome. Do it for the sake of doing it. Do it for the sake of the joy that it brings you to do that thing, whatever it is that you are not fully stepping into. And do it in a playful, innocent space where you're just curious, like, oh, I wonder how I'll feel today if I just did what I want to do, whatever that is, and not hold on to the end result. What if I just did it because I just feel inspired to do it? And it really doesn't matter to me what anyone else's opinion is. It really doesn't matter to me what the outcome is or if there's any outcome. But I'm just doing it from that pure sense of joy, bliss, and honoring what I feel called to do in this moment. And that is a freeing place, because you're allowing yourself to actually grow organically. You're allowing yourself to actually grow without putting these boundaries and these structures. And when we don't determine that outcome, we open ourselves to all possibilities. You know, it's this beautiful, coming back to this kind of beautiful space of manifesting. Can you keep your ideas and your visions open and not to close yourself off from something unimaginable taking place, instead of only what your small mind can imagine at this point in time in this particular reality? So by letting go of the expectations or the outcome, we actually just open ourselves up in full bliss and full joy to allow whatever is meant to take place without narrowing or shutting ourselves off from unlimited possibilities. And I know it can be easier said than done. You know, this idea of being a perfectionist or having really high standards is a trap. Because what if you believe that everything you do or say or create inherently holds value because it's coming from you? And so how can it not, right? I mean, it's like even children, you hear children all the time come out with like these wisdom bombs, and you're just like, whoa, blown away. Like, how did this come through you? And they're just they're just in their bliss, they're just in their innocence. Things are coming through them, and they're just allowing life to flow through them as a vessel. And you know, being in this field of energy work and intuitive coaching, you know, I always come back to this place of, you know, the hollow bone, of emptying, of staying in the beginner's mind, of allowing myself to not know so that I can allow something else to actually move and come through me. So what is it for you that you may have been feeling called to do for a while? Maybe it's a new vocation, maybe it's whatever it is. What is it? And how can you take a step today that will allow yourself to move past this idea of holding back until it's perfect? Can you create something today or this week? What is it that you just get to put out or create without stopping yourself or limiting yourself, releasing perfectionism, releasing outcome? The thing is that the more that you do this, the easier it will become. So just start small and just allow it to take you wherever it does. And just come back to being fully at peace, releasing any outcome, releasing judgment, and being really kind and gentle with yourself, and celebrate. So every time you do something like this and you move past your judgment or your perfectionism, celebrate in some way. I hope this has been helpful in any way. As always, feel free to get in touch if you are looking for some deeper answers to anything. I always love to connect, and just wishing you the most beautiful, expansive, blissful day. Sending you so much love and light, and I'll speak soon. Bye.